Ethical issues in research, recognizing and avoiding bias. The learning outcomes include explain the ethical standards that researchers should follow when conducting research involving human participants, and recommend strategies to ensure ethical decision-making in research projects. Let's look at ethics. BusinessDictionary.com defines ethics as the basic concepts and fundamental principles of decent human conduct. It includes study of universal values such as the essential equality of all men and women, human or natural rights, obedience to the law of the land, concern for health and safety, and increasingly also for the natural environment. See also morality. At its simplest level, ethics is a set of beliefs about right and wrong behaviors. Usually, ethical behavior corresponds to generally accepted social norms, which may vary from location to location, country to country, city to city, industry to industry, and so on. IS has no set code of ethics, although numerous organizations related to IS do have codes of ethics. Generally, good principles to follow include contribute to society, mankind, and your organization. Do no harm. Be honest and trustworthy. Be fair and don't discriminate. Honor property and intellectual property rights. Give credit for intellectual property. Respect privacy. Honor confidentiality and anonymity. These are a few guidelines for codes of ethics. Just like doctors, the first rule for our profession is do no harm. Technology that is poorly designed or implemented can result in death. If it's a life or death technology endeavor, the checks for safety must be substantial. As an ethical researcher, you should conduct research in good faith. Don't go into the study with preconceived notions. Understand any biases you have up front. Conduct research that meets scientific competence, follows generally accepted scientific principles for your area. Pay attention to what the results say, even if you don't agree with what you thought would happen. Maybe especially when they don't agree with what you thought. These may be the most interesting results of all. Pursue organizational best interest. If you work for them, you are obligated to do so unless higher interests, perhaps society, family, etc., compete and put you under ethical duress. Treat subjects well. Debrief them as soon as you can. Be transparent. And reduce coercive or reward responses. Don't give extra credit to students, for instance. That's not a freely given response. Let's look at a few other concepts that are relevant to being an ethical researcher. You should honestly report the results that you find. If you find results counter to what you expected, you should report those results. You should have integrity, making sure that your conduct is above reproach. And as much as possible, you should be objective. You can't get rid of your biases, so you should strive to recognize them and compensate for them. If you promise confidentiality, you are telling respondents that you know the information, who they are, what they said, how to match to respondents, but won't tell anyone or report in an individually identifiable manner. Anonymity means that you do not know and cannot tell even if you wanted to tell. I typically follow this model. If I have any identifying information, I get rid of it as soon as possible, replacing it with random numbers. So I can't tell who someone was even if I wanted to tell. I still won't release information that might individually identify someone. Take a look at the next video for a short review of some of the privacy laws. Before you collect any data, you must collect informed consent. If the participants are unable to give consent, they may be under 18 years old or be unable to give consent for other reasons, then you must get consent from a guardian or other representative. You should use a grade level language that most of your participants will understand, not too technical or too wordy. With informed consent, you clarify what the researcher, you, will do and what the respondent, them, will do. You describe risks and benefits and give them the opportunity to ask questions. You also let them know if they can withdraw from the study in the future. Take a look at the next video for more information on informed consent. In sum, researchers must follow ethical guidelines when conducting and reporting research. They must be honest, exhibit integrity, behave ethically, keep data confidentiality and/or anonymous, whatever they promised, and obtain informed consent from participants. The researchers should seek to be ethically beyond reproach for the studies that they complete.